We often ignore what's right in front of us because facing the truth is uncomfortable. It's easier to explain away someone's hurtful behavior than confront the reality that the relationship may be toxic. You tell yourself, they didn't mean it, or maybe I overreacted. But let me tell you something I've learned through life and experience. Asterisk, asterisk, a red flag is a red flag, asterisk, asterisk. And the longer you pretend it's pink, the deeper you fall into a pattern of emotional compromise that chips away at your self-worth. Red flags don't always scream, they whisper. They show up as sarcasm that cuts too deep, apologies that sound more like blame, jokes that hurt, control disguised as concern, or silent treatments that leave you emotionally starved. These behaviors may not always look monstrous on the surface. In fact, they can come dressed in charm, affection, and even love. But that's what makes them so dangerous. You keep giving the benefit of the doubt when what you really need to do is draw the line. You see, recognizing toxic behavior is not about pointing fingers or demonizing someone. It's about honoring yourself. When someone repeatedly makes you feel confused, anxious, or unworthy, that is not your cue to try harder, that is your cue to pause and evaluate. Why do we normalize things that make us feel so small? Why do we accept apologies without changed behavior? Part of it is conditioning. We're taught to be polite, forgiving, and tolerant, but tolerance doesn't mean allowing yourself to be mistreated. Forgiveness doesn't mean giving someone continued access to your peace. You can forgive someone and still decide that they don't get to walk with you on your journey anymore. Acknowledging the red flags requires courage, not because they're hard to see, but because once you see them, you can't unsee them. And when you accept the truth, you're forced to make a choice, a hard one. Do you keep betraying yourself to hold on to someone who's not good for you, or do you honor your boundaries and let them go, even if it breaks your heart for a while? Choosing the latter means reclaiming your power. It means realizing that love isn't meant to hurt more than it heals. It means learning to stop making excuses for people who refuse to grow, who refuse to respect, who refuse to love you in a healthy way. You are not responsible for fixing anyone. You are not a rehabilitation center for emotionally unavailable or toxic people. Your job is not to endure, your job is to thrive. Sometimes we cling to the potential of a person instead of the reality of who they are. We remember the good days, the loving gestures, the laughs, and we hope those will come back. But patterns speak louder than promises. It's not about what they could be, it's about who they consistently are. If someone consistently makes you feel insecure, belittled, controlled, or afraid to speak your truth, that's not love, that's emotional erosion. So trust what you see, trust what you feel. Your discomfort is data. Your anxiety is alerting you. Your heart is wise. Listen to it. You deserve relationships where love isn't earned through suffering, where respect isn't conditional, where peace is the norm, not the exception. Don't romanticize red flags. Don't dilute your gut instincts. Don't color over warning signs with hope. You are not difficult, too sensitive, or overreacting. You are waking up, and waking up is the first brave step to walking away. There comes a time in life when you have to make a decision. Not for anyone else, not to please society, not to fit into someone's expectations, but for you. Putting yourself first is not selfish. It is an act of survival, of self-respect, of reclaiming the power that you've been giving away for far too long. We're taught from a young age, especially as women, to care for others before ourselves. To compromise, to accommodate, to be nice, to be available, and somewhere along the way we learn to shrink. We start believing that putting others first is the only way to be loved, that saying no is rude, that taking space is arrogant, that speaking up is aggressive. But what if I told you that everything you've been taught about selflessness was incomplete? What if I told you that you cannot pour from an empty cup and the world has been asking you to do just that? Choosing yourself is not a betrayal of anyone else. It's a commitment to your own well-being. It's you saying, I deserve to be okay too. That means prioritizing your mental health. That means walking away from relationships that leave you depleted. That means taking a break without guilt, saying no without explanation, and investing in your own growth unapologetically. When you put yourself first, you send a message to the world about how you deserve to be treated. You stop accepting breadcrumbs when you know you deserve the whole loaf. You stop tolerating half-hearted efforts, conditional love, and inconsistent energy. You stop shrinking just to make others feel comfortable. Because here's the truth, asterisk asterisk, you are not too much, asterisk asterisk. You are not too loud, too ambitious, too emotional, too complicated. You are just right for the life that is meant for you, and the people who truly belong in your life will never ask you to dim your light so they can shine. Putting yourself first doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you include yourself in the equation. It means you recognize that self-love is the foundation of every healthy relationship you'll ever have. When you love yourself enough to set boundaries, to say, I'm not okay with this, to walk away from toxicity, you give others permission to do the same. You become a mirror of strength for the people around you. And that kind of power, that's contagious. It takes courage to choose yourself, especially when you know it might disappoint others. But peace is always worth more than approval. Let people misunderstand you. Let them talk. Let them call you selfish. The ones who truly love you will understand. The rest, they were never your people. You are not a machine designed to keep running until you break down. You are a human being with needs, limits, dreams, and boundaries. And honoring those is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's time to stop apologizing for taking care of yourself. It's time to stop feeling guilty for doing what makes you feel whole. You've spent too long putting others' comfort above your own peace. You've said yes when you meant no. You've stayed when your soul was begging you to leave, but not anymore. This is your season to come home to yourself, to say, asterisk I matter, my voice matters, my happiness matters. Asterisk so no, putting yourself first isn't selfish. It's the most honest, radical, and necessary thing you can do to survive and thrive, and once you do, you'll realize the best version of you was always waiting on the other side of that choice. There's a simple but powerful truth that many of us overlook. Asterisk asterisk, you teach people how to treat you, asterisk asterisk. Every time you allow disrespect, every time you stay silent when someone crosses a boundary, every time you give chance after chance without change, you're sending a message. Not necessarily the one you intend, but the one that gets heard. This is okay. You can treat me this way, and I will stay. The way people treat you is often a reflection of what you've tolerated in the past. We don't always realize it, but we are constantly communicating our worth, not just in what we say, but in what we accept. If someone repeatedly disrespects you and you continue to engage, continue to forgive without growth, continue to make excuses for them, you are unintentionally reinforcing the idea that their behavior has no consequence. But it doesn't have to be that way. You have more power than you think. You have the ability to shift the way others treat you by shifting the way asterisk you treat yourself asterisk. When you respect yourself, when you stand firm in your values, when you stop explaining your boundaries and start enforcing them, you reset the tone of every relationship in your life. It's not about being harsh. It's about being clear. People often push limits to see what they can get away with. It's not always malicious. Sometimes it's habit, upbringing, or insecurity, but it's your job to show them where the line is. And more importantly, to walk away when they keep crossing it, because here's the thing, boundaries only work when there's a consequence. A boundary without a consequence is just a suggestion, and people don't learn from suggestions, they learn from consistency. Sometimes the first person you have to teach is yourself. You need to believe you are worthy of kindness, of respect, of real love, not crumbs, not chaos, not conditions. When you truly believe that, you won't entertain anyone who can't meet you there. You'll stop begging people to value you and start surrounding yourself with those who already do. This kind of self-respect is magnetic. It attracts better friendships, healthier partnerships, more fulfilling opportunities. People can sense it when you're rooted in your worth. You no longer chase validation. you become it, and those who are meant for you will rise to meet your energy, not drain it. Of course, this doesn't mean you cut people off at the first sign of conflict. Healthy relationships require patience and understanding, but there's a difference between having a disagreement and being disrespected. There's a difference between a mistake and a pattern. Pay attention to the difference. Patterns reveal character. Teaching people how to treat you also means modeling the behavior you expect. You can't demand respect while speaking with contempt. You can't expect honesty if you're not being real yourself. This isn't about power plays, it's about alignment. Be what you seek. Set the standard by living it. And yes, sometimes when you raise your standards, people will leave. Let them. Their absence will create space for the right people to show up. The ones who don't see your boundaries as walls, but as doors to understanding you better. You are not asking for too much by wanting to be treated well. You are just asking the wrong people. The right ones won't need constant reminders of your value. They'll see it, respect it, and cherish it. But first, you have to show them how You have to stop teaching through tolerance and start teaching through self-love. Because at the end of the day, every interaction is an opportunity to reinforce your worth. Make sure the message you send is clear, I know who I am, I know what I deserve, and I will no longer accept anything less. Silence is one of the most misunderstood forms of communication. In a world that constantly tells you to speak louder, defend yourself, explain your feelings, and fight to be heard, choosing silence can seem passive, even weak. But here's the truth. Silence is a power move, It is strength disguised in stillness. It is control wrapped in restraint. It's not about avoidance. It's about elevation. There is a unique kind of power in saying nothing. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you no longer feel the need to waste your energy proving your worth to people who have already decided not to see it. Silence becomes your shield, your boundary, your peace. It's not about being passive-aggressive. It's about being selective with your energy, your voice, and your presence. Because not everyone deserves access to all of you, especially not those who have repeatedly disrespected or misunderstood you. When someone disrespects you, gaslights you, or tries to pull you into drama, the most powerful thing you can do is not react. Why? Because reaction feeds their control. Your silence, on the other hand, starves it. It tells them, you don't get to disturb my peace anymore. It shows that your self-control is stronger than their chaos, that you've evolved past needing to win arguments or explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Sometimes people provoke you because they want a reaction. They want to see you lose control, to prove that they still have power over you. When you stay silent, when you walk away without a word, you break that pattern. You take the oxygen out of their fire, you let your absence speak louder than your words ever could. Silence is not about weakness, it's about discernment. Knowing when to speak and when to let your peace do the talking is a rare kind of wisdom. Not every comment deserves a clap back, not every lie needs a correction, not every insult needs an answer. Your time and energy are currency. Invest them wisely, but silence isn't just powerful in conflict. It's powerful in healing too. Sometimes you don't need to talk your way through pain. You just need to sit with it, breathe through it, and let it pass. There is clarity in quiet. There's growth in reflection. When you turn down the external noise, you can finally hear your inner voice. And that voice, it knows the truth. It knows what you deserve. It knows when it's time to let go. There is also dignity in silence. When you choose not to retaliate, not to stoop to someone's level, you're protecting your integrity. You're saying, I'm not playing this game. That kind of restraint commands respect, maybe not from everyone, but from the people who matter, the ones who recognize grace, maturity, and self-respect when they see it. Silence also creates space for your energy to recalibrate, space for the right people to enter, space for the wrong ones to exit without resistance. You don't have to slam doors or burn bridges. Sometimes you just stop showing up for the chaos. You go quiet, you detach, you move on, and that in itself is a revolution. Let people talk, let them create their stories, let them wonder why you're no longer engaging. That's not your burden to carry. Your silence will echo in ways your words never could. It will speak volumes about your growth, your priorities, and your unshakable sense of self. So the next time you're tempted to argue, explain, defend, or retaliate, remember this. Silence isn't empty. It's full of strength. It's a choice, a boundary, a declaration that your peace matters more than being right. And when you master that level of restraint, you stop being controlled by the chaos and start becoming the calm. Healing is one of the most personal, profound, and necessary journeys you will ever take, and it's not up for debate. It doesn't need anyone's permission, approval, or validation. It doesn't follow a schedule, and it certainly doesn't look the same for everyone. Healing is personal, and it's non-negotiable. You don't heal to please others. You heal because your soul deserves peace. You heal because you've carried pain for too long, and at some point you decide to put it down and choose yourself. The truth is, no one else can fully understand the weight of what you've been through. People can empathize, they can support you, they can love you, but they will never feel your pain the way you do. And that's why healing must be something you claim for yourself. It's not something someone else can do for you. It's not something you fake to appear strong. It's something you commit to because you're tired of merely surviving. You want to live fully, freely, and without emotional baggage dictating your every move. There's a misconception that healing means forgetting, forgiving too soon, or being okay all the time. It doesn't. Healing doesn't erase what happened. It teaches you how to live with it in a way that doesn't hurt anymore. It doesn't mean you never feel pain again. It means you stop allowing that pain to control you. It means you don't let your trauma become your identity. You are more than what broke you. You are who you've become in the process of putting yourself back together. Healing often starts in silence, in those private moments when you finally admit, "I'm not okay," and then allow yourself to feel. To cry, to grieve, to process, and it's messy. It's not a straight line. One day you'll feel strong, and the next you'll feel shattered again. That's normal. That's part of the process. You don't need to rush it. You don't need to justify it, and you definitely don't need to explain it to people who have never walked in your shoes. Don't let anyone minimize your healing by telling you to move on or let it go before you're ready. Those phrases are not helpful. They are dismissive. Healing isn't about rushing to the finish line. It's about honoring every step, even the painful ones, especially the painful ones, because those are the steps that teach you the most about who you are and what you deserve. What makes healing non-negotiable is that your future depends on it. You cannot build a healthy life, form healthy relationships, or chase your dreams while carrying the weight of unprocessed pain. You can try to suppress it. You can bury it under achievements, distractions, or even smiles, but it will always find a way to surface until you face it. True healing requires presence. It asks you to sit with your wounds, acknowledge your patterns, forgive yourself, and rewrite the stories you've been telling yourself. Sometimes healing also means letting go, not just of people, but of expectations, guilt, shame, and blame. It means giving yourself permission to move forward without carrying the burden of what should have been. It means saying, I deserve better from others and from myself. You owe no one your brokenness. You don't need to perform your pain for people to believe it's real. Take all the time you need. Protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Healing is the most radical form of self-love you will ever practice. It's how you reclaim your voice, your spirit, your joy, and when you commit to it, when you truly choose to heal, not for others, not for appearance, but for yourself, you start to glow differently. You begin to rise, and that rise, that's your revolution. There comes a moment when you look at your life and realize you've been living by a script someone else wrote. Maybe it was shaped by your upbringing, by people who told you what you should be. Maybe it was written by past pain, heartbreak, rejection, or failure. You've internalized voices that weren't yours, voices that said, "You're not enough, stay small, don't take up too much space, and without even realizing it, you started to play a supporting role in your own story. But here's the truth you need to come back to again and again. Asterisk, asterisk, you are the main character, asterisk, asterisk. And it's time to asterisk, asterisk, rewrite the narrative, asterisk, asterisk. You don't have to keep living out someone else's expectations. You don't have to keep repeating cycles that no longer serve you. You are not defined by the worst things that happened to you. You are not limited by how others have labeled you. Your story is still unfolding, and the pen is in asterisk, your asterisk hand now. Being the main character doesn't mean everything revolves around you in an arrogant or selfish way. It means you finally step into the power of your own life. It means you stop waiting for permission to be seen, to be heard, to be bold. It means you recognize that you have agency, choice, and the ability to create something new, even after everything that's tried to break you. Maybe people expected you to fail. Maybe they only ever saw a fraction of who you really are. Maybe you've been underestimated, dismissed, or boxed in. That's okay, let them. Their version of you is not your responsibility. What matters is how you see yourself. And the moment you start viewing yourself as the main character, flawed, powerful, rising, learning, is the moment everything begins to shift. Start asking yourself, what story am I telling with my life? Is it one of survival or one of strength? Is it one of fear or one of resilience? What would happen if I stopped editing myself for other people's comfort? What if I started showing up exactly as I am, unapologetically, authentically, and with purpose? You don't have to have it all figured out. Main characters stumble, they fall, they lose their way, but what sets them apart is that they always come back stronger. They evolve, they learn, they don't let a few bad chapters define the whole book. You can start over as many times as you need to. That's the beauty of being the author of your own story. You get to change the plot whenever you're ready. It's time to let go of the idea that your past defines you. Rewrite the story, turn heartbreak into healing, turn rejection into redirection, turn silence into voice. You get to decide what each chapter means, and even if you didn't choose what happened to you, you can choose what you do with it now. You can choose to rise anyway. You're not here to live a background life. You're here to be seen, to shine, to make noise, to create, to love, to lead, and to inspire. Stop waiting for a savior, a sign, or a green light. You are the sign, you are the plot twist, you are the character who becomes the hero of her own story. So take your pen back, write a story that feels like freedom. Fill your pages with bold decisions, with soft moments, with joy and with pain. But make it yours. No more shrinking, no more dimming. This is your time. Your name belongs on the cover, and when the world looks at your life, let them see the kind of story only a main character could write.